Nessa eu estou fazendo, empurrando você para cá. Na verdade, esse jogo de 60. Então, quando você pula, eu faço isso aqui, vai mais alto. Pula aí, ó.
Hello, welcome back. My name is Crystal. Today is my second day in Brazil and I'm training Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, and it happens to be a class where I'm training with a female white belt and the teacher is a female purple belt, and I am also a female purple belt. So as soon as I saw there was a female purple belt there, I got very excited because it's always great when you have somebody in a similar weight class and a similar skill level. Like, that's when the rolling gets really interesting. So right now we're doing warm-ups. I'll tell you one thing about warm-ups. When I was a white and blue belt, there's an inside joke of when you get to your purple belt, you just skip warm-ups, and I have a theory as to why. I find for myself, when I first started at white belt and blue belt, everything is so new and my body was still used to fighting, but it's like, okay, let's see how can I explain this? So when you first start jiu-jitsu and you're first rolling, your brain is just going crazy because it's in like a fight or flight state. Like the hormones, like the neurotransmitters, like everything is just going off and your brain is like, oh my God, fight or die. And so that causes, the blood to rush to your extremities. It causes you to have a quickening in heart rate, a quickening in breath. Often you'll see like an MMA fight, you're like wondering, do these guys and girls have cardio? And it's because the adrenaline gets so high and the adrenaline dump is so intense that after that happens, there's like nothing left in the gas tank, which is why you see the weeks leading up to a fight, MMA fighters will do a bunch of cardio, make sure their cardio is on point. That way they have enough in the tank to be there just in case there happens to be an adrenaline spike. So with that being said, I find that when I was a white and blue belt, I had more nervous energy and was using a lot more energy, and now that I'm a purple belt, like I can almost like flow with things, and it's it's another day at the office. Like choking is just choking. Like it's like eating cereal for breakfast at this point. Like it's not practicing the art of murder is just an everyday thing apparently. One thing. So shrimping, do you see how this movement right here will get you out of side control and if you can shrimp and get your knee inside, your inside knee, inside their hip, that is literally that is the bread and butter side control escape. And it's off of this hipping out. It's also called shrimping out movement. So I found that when I was a white and blue belt, if I skipped warm-ups, I seriously had a higher increased chance of getting an injury, even while drilling. Now I find that I'm a purple belt, so I skip warm-ups, but I also, I'm just very chill during drilling, and even my rolling style, I try to do things in a very relaxed state with as little energy as possible. Like that is literally my goal. Now that I'm doing judo, it's a different ballgame since it's new. When I'm doing judo and Muay Thai, I warm up. And especially, when I'm traveling Here there was no option to skip the warm-up, obviously because I'm at a new gym. But especially if I'm traveling, I find I have, for my body anyway, like when I get off the plane, I feel very tight. So in any instance where I'm feeling tight, like, you know, it's just always good to warm up. Might as well just hedge your bets. All right, in the first part of this commentary, we're doing class, obviously. So we're going to be doing some spider guard techniques, and we're going to get into some rolling. And I have some really interesting things to share with you. All right, so first of all, in Jiu-Jitsu, what's super interesting to think about is that you can have, let's say me, for example, a purple belt. I am better than a purple belt in some moves and less than a purple belt in other moves. Like if you see a black belt, that person might be beyond a black belt in some things and a white belt in other game. It all depends what type of game that interests you. For me, primarily, I am into nogi, and this spider guard is specific to gi training and the gi, because in order to get these grips, it's typically dependent on a gi. I'm sure that you can use these same sleeve grips and translate it to, you know, wrist grips, but I don't see spider guard played in nogi as often as I see it played in gi. And one thing to keep in mind, let's say you have game that you don't know, you're not very good at it offensively. If somebody else is very good at something offensively, you don't need to match their skill level in the offensive realm. The only thing that you need to do is to know how to defend the moves from spider guard. So here, we're gonna be showing you just that, because my defense just has to be like a little bit better than you. I don't need to know all the offense that you know, I just need to know some defense. And the key thing with spider guard, here we're gonna learn how to implement spider guard and then how to defend against spider guard and eventually pass. So here you can see she steps to the left, and then she is able to remove one of the hooks, and then she is able to Y grip on the back of the knee pits and then pass. So it's basically combining two different techniques. It's basically like combining half of a stack pass. The most important thing when you're going up against somebody who has a good spider guard is to break free of the grips. So here you see she steps to the left, she swims her left arm inside of the leg to pin the knee down, and then steps to the right, shucks her shoulder in a type of folding pass. Like if you've ever done a folding pass, this is the same type of shoulder movement.
You can't get on my level. It's drill bill. It's drill bill. It's B. Let's go.
And then from there, she Y grips back of the knee pits and keeps her knees really close to their butt. So your knees are acting like a post against their butt in order to keep the stack, and you're kind of Suzanne Summer squeezing their butt cheeks with your knees. That way you can keep them in that stacked position with the Y grips on the knees until you move to pass. So if you know the folding pass and you know the stack pass, then add those two together and this is what you have. So first, to get in this position, I put my right leg in her elbow pit, and then with my left leg, I'm lassoing.
You're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you.
And then after the stack pass, it's interesting, she brings it the legs down, and then goes for a knee cut half guard pass.
I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to.
So the most important thing to remember is when you're in somebody's spider guard, you have one arm where they have their foot in your elbow pit. The other arm is lassoed, so they have their leg wrapped around it. So you can see her left leg is the lasso. The first step to passing spider guard is to address the foot in your elbow first and that grip. If you can beat that grip, then you have a significant advantage in beating their spider guard. So if you're new to the spider guard game, just whatever, if you're looking down and you see this arrangement and you're like, what's going on? You're gonna have one leg wrapped around your arm, and then you're gonna have their other foot in your elbow pit. So just look at the foot in the elbow pit and go to that side, and then try to swim your arm underneath their thigh. That way, that swimming motion is what helps break the grip. And conversely, if you've ever been playing with spider guard before, you know that when you have a sleeve grip and you have your foot in their elbow pit and you see that they're breaking that grip, it's like, oh Lord. if this grip doesn't hold, like I'm I don't have much spider guard game, so I'm just like but one thing to keep in mind too is how you grip. So one tip is to curl your fingers and then like put your thumb over your fingers, and that helps your thumb helps to secure your fingers, so it is a tighter grip. So that's one tip. What's really interesting too is when we're doing the spider guard pass, which is like a folding pass, stack pass, and you can even throw in like a knee slice or a knee slide pass. The first step is clearing the grip, but also moving your body to that side in order to clear that side grip, which is the knee pit, the foot in your knee pit grip. When you're doing any type of other passing, like body lock passing or tight waist passing, it's interesting because that same principle still holds, how you shift your weight to the side that you're trying to pass on.
I've become so
So here you're going to see a very good angle of her getting the lasso in, so her left leg is lassoed. She goes to the right, clears the grip. Goes to the other side. Puts the elbow in, and then goes for the stack. And then from the stack, pins the bottom knee down to then go for a knee slide. And of course, from that position, pinning the knee to the ground is everything. It is everything. Getting a wide grip on that knee and pinning it to the ground and getting your other forearm inside their hip, essential for any type of passing. If you just remember that principle, you've gotten the technique down for a lot of passing techniques that are built off of that. All right, welcome to the live rolling portion of this video. Now, I wonder what's gonna happen when I try the technique that she just taught me on her. So here I am trying to break that grip, and this woman had grips of steel. Like here I am trying to circle, and I finally circled to break the grip. Now she has my single leg and she's going to single leg X, so I cup the back of her head. That way I can keep my balance. That way she can't get the sweep off the single leg X. So now she still has a single leg X, and I am working to peel the X guard off and pin down her knee and get inside hip position. So that's what I'm fighting for, as she's fighting to extend my knee and get into a good sweep position. So she just bailed on the sweep and then went in for the double leg, and from here, oh, she wants to go the other at the white belt. So we'll take a water break, and now we're back. We're gonna go in for another round. So we're starting off, this is basically positional sparring. So I let her get the foot in I let her get spider guard.
Same next year, boy. Yeah. And I'll be right here in my spot with a little more cash than I already got.
And now what I'm doing is another technique that you can do is basically step on their leg and circle out to break the grip. I had some reservations doing that to her because some moves are a little meaner than others, and when I'm visiting a new gym, I typically try to be nicer.
So patient, me and 40 back to work, but we still smell like a vacation. Hate the rumors, hate the book, these allegations. I'm just feeling like a throne is for the taking. All I care about is money in the city that I'm from. I'ma sip until I feel it, I'ma smoke until it's done. I don't really give a my excuses that I'm not.
So before she can get the lasso in, I pin her leg by putting my foot on her thigh, because she already has, you know, the grip with her foot and my knee pit. So if I can prevent her from getting a lasso on the other side, then that's blocking the spider guard before it even happens. And, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that's especially true in jiu-jitsu. If you can defend something from happening before it happens, then you don't even need to know the defense. I remember my first coach, when I asked, how do I escape the armbar, his answer was, don't leave yourself open to get armbarred. Which I was like, thanks for that. It's like white belt 3 months in, you know what I mean? Like, so tell me again exactly.
Okay, we poppin' champagne like we won a championship game. Look like I got on a championship ring, 'cause I ball hard, no be ball harder. I am the Birdman,
Come on. As I sit back, relax, steam a blunt, sip a Bex. Think about the singers, probably go to Bell. Ooh, Regina Bell, she probably do me swell. Jasmine Guy was fly, Mariah Carey, kinda scary. Wait a minute, what about my honey Mary? Them jeans, they fitting like a glove. I had a crush on you since real love. Hold your horses, I'ma show you who the boss is. Just taking no losses, keeping groups like SWD.
So here from the lasso, you can, if you get the sleeve grips, just pull them in to set up a triangle, which I like doing. If you can be like very aggressive about it and shoot your hips up, that's getting a lasso and getting a triangle from spider guard. It's like peanut butter and jelly. So here I'm looking, oh, she has her foot caught in my belt. I remember, like, how is she still following me? Oh, she beat that hook so fast. Yeah, she's definitely done this move before. So now she's trying to stack me. And then step over and then go for the knee slice. But I'm working to get my foot over her head, because if I can get the foot over the head and hook the arm, then you have yourself an arm bar.
I slayed from far away. Everybody hit the DECA. My slow flow's remarkable. Peace to Mateo. Now we smoke like Tony Montana Scipio. That's crazy blunts, mad L's. My voice excels from the avenue to jail cell.
She goes in for the double leg and ends up pulling right into a single leg X guard, and from here, when I grab the back of the head, basically you can slide your knee down, and that's a way to escape it. Oh, let's see. So right now, see how I'm pushing her knee down to get over, and then now I'm in a half guard safety position, and then from half guard safety, you can knee cut. So you can get to a 3/4 mount position.
Listening, smacking babies at the glistening. So you better grab your pistol, cause if you sit still, I'm gonna make the shit spill. And I'm talking about buckets, why did I have to do it? Cause that's just gotta come.
And then from the 3/4 mount, I get my head to the other side, because then you can knee slice from 3/4 mount. She has a hold of my leg, and she is
Signing off is the hardcore rap singer, aka crack singer, bring it anytime. Come on, come on.
not letting go.
Come on.
Here, you know, a great move. When somebody has your leg and they're kind of like curled in that fetal position, you can take your right arm. In this case, it would be my right arm, and cross face them. That's typically what I do. But again, like I'm visiting in a new school. Like I like to tone it down a bit. Like I'm not gonna cross face the instructor. Like I'm gonna wait until like day 2, you know? Oh, it was a good armbar. So here would be an example of tight waist passing. She has a close guard, so I'm trying to pin her right knee to the ground in order to pass.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Relax and take notes while I take totes.
I would have had it if I just would have like stepped over. Oh.
So you in a choke, gun smoke. Nicky smoke for mayor, the rat slayer, the hooker layer. May your prayers, Hail Mary, full of grace. Smack them in the face, take her Gucci bag.
That was a nice sweep. So here she goes in for a back take, and I am hipping out to beat that bottom knee. And then now I turn into her, or I'm trying to turn into her as she has a rear naked choke on, and I spin inside. That's a classic. I remember that was one of the first escapes I've ever like successfully completed as a white belt. So if anybody has your back, especially before they get very settled and lock in a body triangle, just think turn and into them, because a back, if you flip your body 180 degrees, a back take then becomes guard, and you've significantly increased your position in the positional hierarchy.
You got me mistaken, honey. I don't want the pizza, Capisha. I'm out like the vapor. Who's the one you call Mr. Macho? The head honcho, switch this like Camacho. I got so much style, I should be down with the stylistic. Make up to break up, niggas need to wake up. Smell the Indonesia, reach it to a seizure. Then arms hit the skin to amnesia. She don't remember just the 2 hits. Her hitting the floor, and me hitting the clits. Sucking on the clip, had to hook the finger.
Oh, this is great. Oh, that was a great transition to an omoplata from Spider Guard. That was really good.
I guess I was a combination of House of Pain and Bobby Brown. I was jumping around and jumping around. After then I asked her who's the man, she said B.I.G. Then I bust in her EYE.
All right, we have one last and final round. And she gets a foot in my hip and pulls guard. And this, I've never felt tighter grips. Like, she has some of the strongest grips in Spider Guard that I've ever felt, like ever, male or female. And I remember thinking, like, what in the world? So it's because of her grips on my sleeves, at the ends of my sleeve. So she has control on my torso because of those grips. So one principle to always keep in mind is to address the grips first. And here I am attempting to address the grips by pinning her leg down. That way I can use that as additional force to then circle out.
Let me tell you, if you're not wrong, then why? Everything is alright.